Greetings to my fellow Clashers. You are on Gaming with Nock, and I'm Noctar, your host. Hey, so I have been trying for the last month to record a video on mass beta minions. And I know this isn't exactly a complex or difficult to run strategy, but it's one of my favorites. I like using it starting at Town Hall 4, about midway through. First thing I do as soon as I hit Town Hall 4 is upgrade my beta minions to level 8, and everything else goes by the wayside. On the games that I rush, I continue to upgrade my beta minions to 10 and then 12 before I move on to anything else. In fact, in a lot of games, I won't even upgrade the barracks until I've got my beta minions completely up to level 12 because I don't use them. I don't need them. The mass beta minion, or MBM, strategy works great against just about any kind of base. Really, the only thing you have to do to make sure that you don't really screw up big time is drop your beta minions on the side opposite of where the air bombs are. Because as I've said before, air bombs are the weapon of mass beta minion destruction. They just destroy any and every attack, it seems, of beta minions. Right now I've got my BH6, my main game, up on the screen, but I've got a bunch of replays I'm going to run through for you, and we'll go ahead and we'll start off with one from the Zedverteidigung game. All these are level 6 Builders Halls, but really it's the same on Builders Hall 4, Builders Hall 5. The same basic principles hold true. On Builders Hall 6, you've got to watch out for the... You're going to get that one started. You got to watch out for the roaster as well, but in a lot of cases, it's a spray and pray kind of strategy, and it'll still work well. On this particular game, on Zedverteidigung, you can see I've only got a level 1 battle machine, and he doesn't offer much value beyond tanking. What I like to do is sometimes hold back a couple of beta minions so I can kind of do a little extra cleanup, and I'll drop the battle machine in after the worst of the threats to it are taken care of, namely the double cannons and, of course, the crushers. He'll go in, he'll offer a little bit of tanking service, distract a few of the defenses. If the roaster is up, a lot of times I'll kind of angle him towards the roaster. In this particular case, the roaster was down, which made this an absolutely ideal base to go after with beta minion, because between the roaster and the air bombs, those are the two things that are going to take your beta minions down every time. But if you can get those air bombs out of the way and still have a few beta minions left at the end, a lot of times this will end up being a 3-star solution. And that's the case here in this particular one. As you see, the beta minions manage to survive. They work their way around and through the base. And in the very end, there's just enough left to take down the Archer Tower, and we get the 100% win. Now, it's not always going to be a 100%er, but the first two replays I've got for you, they're both 100%ers. I got a couple in the 80s to show you here in a minute as well. And the other thing I want to emphasize is that this can work on any base. It doesn't matter whether it's a diamond base or a box base or it's asymmetrical or symmetrical. It works on anything. The key is to come in from a direction that is opposite of the air targeting troops that are going to hurt you the most. In this particular case, you can see that this player put his air bombs all the way on the outside at the bottom of the base. That's a terrible design. And by putting them out there like that, you make them vulnerable to things like, say, the Mitch attack, which is one of my favorites. I use it all the time. Or you essentially take them out of the game. I mean, look at this. 75% of the base basically is gone before the air bombs even become a factor in the game. Now, that's huge. It's an astounding amount of the base to be gone. And, of course, the Builders Hall, too, the BH itself is down. That's an astounding amount of the base to be gone so early on in the attack. And at the end, you've got enough beta minions coming in from different directions to take down the air bombs. Again, 100%. Like I said, not every attack comes out as 100%. Let's take a look at a couple in the 80s. Generally speaking, anything over about 65, 75%, you're going to win. It's not very often that you don't. This is another box style base, and you'll notice once again, where is the air bomb? All the way at the top, outside of the effective game. You're going to get the bottom 2/3 of that base completely gone before the air bombs even become a factor. And to make matters worse, again, another sin in the development of a base, you've got the roaster sitting right next to the air bombs outside the range of the game. These kinds of bases are absolutely ideal for mass minion attacks because you can take out so much. Here we are, what is it, about 70% almost? Yeah, almost 70% of the base is gone before two of your leading air defenses really become a factor for the air troops. That's huge. It's a massive amount. And that's how we end up with an 80% or better 2-star, which seldom gets beaten. Usually, if you can get over 80%, you're in like Flint. There we go. Taking a look at one here from Cyberon. 89%. This is a diamond style base. So we've seen a bunch of boxes. Here's a diamond. Coming in from the top. Why? Because once again, air bombs and roaster, bottom of the base, completely outside of more than 50% of the destruction of the base. We'll even be able to get past the Builder's Hall with this. We'll see. Taking a quick water break there. Sorry about that, guys. Hard to believe. 90 degrees in the Midwest today. 90 degrees on the first day of autumn. Actually have the air conditioning on. It's insane. Alright, so Beta Minions finally get down to the Builder's Hall, and they take it out. The only thing they have to contend with is the roaster, and even there, it just wasn't a big factor. There were enough Beta Minions that were spread out enough, and they were able to take it down. Got a little bit of cleanup going on the sides and bottom there. The roaster and the air bombs are doing their job, but it's too little too late. 86%, soon to be 89%. There it is, 89% 2-star. Again, it's all about how you position your defenses. And when you see a base like this, you got to think of a mass attack like the mass Beta Minion attack. It works. It's a great attack for these kinds of bases. Last one I've got for you, this is from Clash Maniac. It's an 83% 2-star, but exact same principles. We're back to another box-style base. This is a popular internet base. And immediately we drop all of the Beta Minions. Give it a few secs here. We're going to drop the battle machine after some things are down on the sides there. And the reason I waited because I wanted to get him to go down this right side so he could distract the roaster. Now, this is a textbook roaster distraction here. As long as he gets there before the Beta Minions do, the roaster locks on him, and the Beta Minions can then turn around and take him out while he's still firing on the battle machine. And that's exactly what happened. And of course, we have a good spread around the battle or the builder hall, so we were able to take that down as well. And a little added benefit, we'll take out one or two other buildings before it's over with. You can see I've got that one lone Beta Minion up at the top there who worked his way over to this back side. We're going to speed this up to 4x because he's going to take a while. But he's going to get, a happy 15-20%. You can't argue that. Look at him go. But again, if I had held a few back like I usually do on the attack, I would have dropped him over there and we would have gotten a couple of extra percentage points. That's okay. It's not that big a deal. I mean, 83%, again, almost always going to be a win when you get over 80%. So that's mass Beta Minion. And hopefully, looking at these examples, you get kind of an idea for what it is that you want to do to be successful with this attack strategy, how to bring them in, and what direction you want them to go as you kind of pad them through the base. Now, how to defend against this? Well, as I said during the replays, don't do the things that those particular base designs had in them. Don't put your roaster right next to your air bombs. Don't put them on the far side of the base. Don't put them in a spot that they're on the very edge where they're susceptible to something like even a Mitch attack, or that they're essentially not a part of the defense until the very end of the attack. Know that your attackers are going to come in from a certain direction. The attack will always come from a direction opposite of where those air bombs and roasters are. And if that's the case, well, as a base designer, you need to defend against it. using the go to base that I have online right now. You can see on my main game here. I have the roaster and the air bombs right at the top. They're relatively close to each other, basically next to each other. So what do I do to defend in this base against an air attack? Well, look at the bottom. You can see I have air mines all over the place down there. I have my archer tower set in such a way that it will be able to pick off beta minions. And I have high hit point structures down there to keep the beta minions busy while my archer tower is shooting at them. Likewise, I have very close to the bottom of the base my hidden Tesla, which will take out things. And don't forget, we have the guard post, which is going to have a couple of archers that will also shoot them. So there's lots of distractions, there's lots of high hit point structures, there's mines set to air, and then eventually they will end up within the range of the two archer towers at the top. And by having my air bombs protecting this side and my roaster protecting that side, I have a pretty good amount of coverage as they get into the builder's hall as well. And they're not going to get to the air bombs and roaster very easily because they've got so many other buildings with high hit points and just, general mucky muck to keep them busy down here while things are shooting at them like crazy all over the rest of the base. So that's how you would defend against one of these attacks. If you don't do these things, then yeah, your base will be susceptible to a mass beta minion attack. You can use mass baby dragons on bases that are designed that way as well. You can use Mitch on bases that are designed that way. My guess is you'll probably be able to use the air drop ship when it comes out in Builders Hall 7 against bases that are designed that way. It's all about protecting against the air attack and the direction from which it comes so that you can control the pathing, control the direction that the attack is going to go from your opponent. All right, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully you guys found those replays helpful and the idea behind the strategy useful. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them down in the bottom here underneath the video. Catch me on the forums, drop me an email, private mail on the forums. Always happy to talk and offer advice wherever I can. If you got any videos you'd like to see or any topics you'd like to see covered, let me know. Other than that, please hit like, please hit subscribe, help me build the channel. Appreciate everybody's help so far. And y'all take care, have a good time. Bye-bye.